Hi there, welcome to the class today, and the focus today will be mainly looking at back bend postures. So I hope that you're all keeping well and hope that you're getting used to a slightly different routine indoors. It's great to hear some really good feedback and having some chats still with people who come to classes. And it's really good to hear how you've been getting on. Thanks so much for joining in with these classes, and thanks so much for your really kind donations. I've loved hearing the stories as well about the dogs, your pets that have been joining in, and also trying to get your husbands as well and children maybe to join into the class. That always makes me smile when I think of that. All right then, so we'll start the class. So for this class, you might need a block if you're used to using your block to sit down. And we're going to be doing a little bit of kneeling stuff as well. So if you've got a blanket or something that's going to be there to pad your knees, then that'd be really handy. So we'll start off the class just coming down to a lying down comfortable position. So just take a moment just to check in and see what's going to feel good and comfortable for your back. So as the focus is on the back, we want to really think about what's going to feel good for the back in that first position of coming down. So you might allow yourself, if it feels like you need that extra support, to let your legs bend. And if you've done that, just have them hip distance apart. You can have your knees up to the sky, or you can have your knees dropping in. Or if it feels okay, then just allow yourself to lengthen out the legs. Let there be a nice space in between the legs so that as you just rest on the earth, the back starts to soften. And then just take a moment to gently scan the body and notice how you're feeling at this moment. Start to be aware of anywhere that you might be feeling a little bit tight in the body. Start to soften and relax, so allowing your shoulders to relax from here. Just letting the face soften, just scanning your attention, making sure that the face stays relaxed. And allow your belly to soften. So really just take your focus to the back of the body now and tune in with what that back feels like, the different sections of the spine. Taking your awareness to the lower back, just let your awareness be here. Just for a moment, just see if you can encourage the lower back to soften and relax. Just feel that this first visualization, this awareness just brings some space into that part of the body. And then bring your awareness to your midsection of the back. Notice what that feels like. And just see if you can encourage that area just to relax as well. Just nice natural breaths. And then lastly, just taking your focus to your top of the back, the upper back. And just be aware of that. Bring some attention here. Encourage that area to soften and release. And then we're just going to focus on your breath now. So when you're ready to do so, just slowly start to breathe in and out gently through the nostrils. So in and out through the nostrils, keeping the breath gentle so there's no false. If you need to go back to your natural breath, absolutely fine. So I thought a nice breathing practice that we're going to do today that is going to just focus a little bit more on feeling full with the breath, especially around your chest area and the upper part, is going to be the Veloma breath. So when we do back bends, the focus a lot also is awareness to the chest and the front of the body, this lovely opening and this breath that you can create in this space. So the Veloma breath is the interrupted breath, where we take it in little steps. So first of all, we're going to breathe in and we're going to take it just a bit, then breathe it in a bit more, and then a tiny bit more, and then you take a long, slow exhale out. So I'll guide you through it. If it doesn't feel right, just go back to your natural breath. So just first of all, take a nice full inhale in, and a nice long, slow exhale out, so the lungs are empty. And then we're just going to breathe in just 1/3 of the fullness. Then you're going to breathe in, so you're 2/3 full. And last bit, breathing in fully, so you're completely full. And then taking a really nice long, slow exhale out. I'm going to do that a few more times. So breathing in just a little bit first of all, pause. Breathing in a bit more, pause. Breathing in, last bit till you're quite full, pause. And a long, slow exhale out. We're going to repeat this 2 more times. So breathing in, just 1/3. You might be aware of your tummy. Breathing in, 2/3 full. Be aware of your chest. Breathing in, last bit. Be aware of your collarbones. And a nice, long, slow exhale, softening the belly, the chest, and your upper chest. Last one's going to breathe in, just one bit first of all. Breathing in a little bit more, maybe that awareness comes to the chest. Breathing in, last bit, so you have awareness in your upper chest. And a nice, long, slow exhale out, softening belly, chest, and upper chest. Just allow yourself just to take a few natural breaths in between. Notice how that feels. And then we're going to just do 3 rounds, but we're going to completely reverse it now. So we're going to breathe in for one bit, and then you're going to stagger your exhale. So just completely reversing it. Just for a moment, just take a nice, long, slow inhale in. And a nice, long, slow exhale out. We'll do that one more time. Nice, long, slow inhale in, and we're going to stagger that exhale. So this time, just breathing out, 1/3 empty of the lungs. Pause. Breathing out, 2/3 now. Breathing out till the lungs are completely empty. And just taking a nice, long, slow inhale in. We'll do that again. So you can just breathe out, 1/3. Maybe be aware of your abdomen. Breathing out, 2/3. Start to be aware of your centre of the chest. Breathing out fully. So now you're aware of your upper chest. Pause. And a nice, long, slow inhale in. We'll do that one more time. So breathing out, just one bit. So you're 1/3 of the lungs breathing out. Breathing out a little bit more. So we're 2/3 breathing out. And then completely empty the lungs now. So you breathe out fully. And then take a nice, long, slow inhale in. And then just take a few nice, natural breaths now. Just notice how that feels. You might have more awareness to the front of the body. You might have more awareness to the breath. Take a moment just to stretch out the body. So if you've got room to do so, if it's okay, let the arms just have a nice lengthen out from here. If the legs are lengthened along the floor, just gently press your heels away from you. Spread the toes, reaching into the hands. Just pause for a moment, feel how good it feels. Just have a nice stretch out from here. Good. And breathe out, soften, release the arms, allow the legs to soften. And then in your own time, slowly bend the legs. Take the knees in towards the chest and just hug them in for your Apanasana knees to chest pose. Take a moment just to rock a bit from side to side, so easing out into the back. And notice what it feels like. So we're just bringing some really good awareness to the back today so that we can get a little bit of release. We might have felt as well from our routine, our everyday routine has probably changed quite a bit. So we might be noticing new things that are happening in the body. You might be noticing new areas that are getting a bit tight. It might be around the back. So hopefully some of these poses might help to just create a bit more space. So you're going to just cup the knees from here and just let the legs relax. And then we're going to inhale. You're going to press your knees away from you. Notice how the back arches. And then as you breathe out, draw your knees back in towards the chest. Feel how there your back releases in towards the earth. So match it up with the breath. We can take an inhale as we straighten the arms, as we press the knees away. And then breathing out, drawing the knees back in towards the chest. Just do that a few more times in your own time, in your own breath. Maybe allow your eyes just to close from here or soft gaze and just be aware of what's happening to your back. Start to feel that really nice movement that you're creating around the back, around the spine. A bit of self-care and attention to the back of the body today. So next time that you hug the knees in towards the chest, pause there for a moment. I'm going to keep the legs bent. We're just going to place the feet down to the floor. And you want your feet roughly hip distance apart from here. Arms are down by the sides of the body. And just think about that movement that we just did when we had the knees in and pressing. And think about what was happening to the back. We're going to kind of do the same movement from here. So a bit of pelvic rolling. And rolling on the spine. But we're going to keep the feet down. So it's quite a subtle movement. So you can keep the arms down by the sides of the body. I'm just going to take my arms just behind you so you can hopefully see what's happening in this. So you're going to allow yourself to just slowly arch the back as you feel that you press into the feet. So the back starts to release away. And then slowly start to draw the navel in as you allow more of your back then to press in towards the earth. So you're just doing that movement. Your feet stay down. So you're arching the back as you press into the feet. And then breathing out, drawing the navel in as you allow yourself to bring more of the back down so you feel the tailbone lengthening a bit more as well. So just see how that feels. And this is a really nice one. It's quite simple, but it's really nice if you suffer from any tightness, which a lot of us do around the lower back. This can be a really nice one that can help to just release. And a few minutes a day of this can often be really, really effective. So nice visualisation if if you think it's quite tricky just to work out what's going on. I've been taught as well that you think about if you was lying on a rolling pin and you was just letting that rolling pin move up and down as you allow your back to just move in this way. We're just going to do it here for a few more times. Just let your eyes close. Focus on the movement that you're feeling in the back, in the spine. That nice feeling of releasing. So it's really good for your lower back. Lovely. And then make this your last one. Just soften and release. Let the spine come back to neutral. Hug the knees in towards the chest again. Just having a gentle rock from side to side. We're just going to do 2 more movements from here. So we're going to work our twist from here. So twists are going to be really nice. We're going to do a few extra twists into the class as well, as they're really good counter poses to the back bends to really get some nice release into the back. So feet are hip distance apart. And if you've got room to do so, you're going to reach the arms to a nice T shape. My arms are going to be off the screens from here, so I'm just going to bend them back to cactus, but keep them nice and open if you can. So you're going to drop your knees over to the right side. If it's okay, let your head slowly turn towards the left side. Just hold it there for a few breaths. Focus on your breath. And then slowly return back to the centre with your head and the knees. Inhale, and as you breathe out, we'll drop the knees over to the left side. We'll allow your head to slowly turn towards that right side. Good. And then slowly coming back to the centre. You can either do another round with the feet to the floor, or if it feels okay, if you know the back's okay, let the legs lift so the legs come to a right angle position. We'll drop the knees over to that right side. Head slowly turns towards that left. Remembering that if you've got room to do so, allow your arms to come to a really nice T shape. And then coming back to the centre with your head and the knees. And then over towards that left side. Let your head slowly turn towards that right side. Just feel how good this feels for the back. So this hopefully should feel that you're getting into the back. You're starting to release a bit. And then coming back to the centre. Just hug the knees in for a moment. So work just a few rounds of our bridge pose. As bridge pose is wonderful. It is a back bend. It's a front of the body opening. It get right into your back. So replace your feet down to the floor again, hip distance apart, feet are down, arms are down by the sides of the body. So just a few moving up and down first of all. So we inhale, press into the feet. You start to lift the spine away. We're going to lift up our hips from here. Take a couple of breaths, just holding it from here. And then slowly let your pelvis tilt forwards. Let your spine slowly release back down to the floor. We'll do just a couple more like that. And you might find that the second one that you feel a bit more release into it. So press into the feet, inhale, lift your spine away. Make sure that your feet are still pressing down. Feel how good that feels on the back, and knowing that you're the judge of this, you can take it lower if you need to. You haven't got to lift as high as this. And then breathing out, slowly tilt the pelvis forward, coming all the way back down. We'll do one more just like this. So feet are down, hands are there support. We're lifting up again. Just notice what that third one feels like. Yeah, you can either keep the arms down if it's an option, if your shoulders feel okay. You can always roll up a little bit higher onto your shoulders. Either just keeping the hands down or interlocking the fingers. Or if this option is not for you, you can always take your hands back behind you. Just breathe. Enjoy that feeling of just being able to breathe as well. A bit more into the front of the body as it opens up. And then we release the hands. So if you've interlocked, release them. Come back onto the shoulders. If the arms are behind, release them down. Tilt the pelvis forward and as slow as you can. Don't be in a hurry, don't be in a rush. Just start to bring the spine down and really be aware of each bit, each vertebrae, as it slowly releases all the way down, right into that very last bit. Let that area just soften and relax. And then we'll hug the knees one more time in towards the chest. Just taking a gentle rock from side to side. And then allowing yourself to come up to seated position. So either dropping the knees to one side or hands behind the leg, rocking backwards and forward. Whatever option suits you. Coming all the way up to seated. And just for a moment, finding an easy cross-leg position or allowing your legs to lengthen out from here. Just take a moment, let your spine be nice and lengthened, shoulders moving back and down. Just allow yourself to gently draw the navel in from here. Just pause for a moment, be aware of what the back's feeling like. Take a few focused breaths from here, allowing the breath to slow down. Allowing maybe an equal length of your inhale and your exhale just to start to work with this. And then slowly allowing yourself to release. And just come out of your seated position and we're going to move ourselves all the way onto our all fours position. So we're going to do a little bit of work onto the knees. So by all means, you can pad your knees if you need to with your blanket. We'll start off with our cat stretches, so hands are spread, knees are underneath the hips, and we've got a really good base for our hands by spreading the fingers, all of them. We're really going to slow down our breath today. Focus on your spine. Inhale, lift your tailbone, lift the front of the body, and your head lifts last. And then breathing out, gently press into the hands to allow you to round over. Let the neck be long as you gaze back through the legs. Do two more like that. Make your breaths long. Inhale, tailbone, front of the body, and your head lifts last. And breathing out, rounding over, draw into the navel, gazing back through the legs. One more time, just like this position. Inhale, lifting. And then exhale, rounding over. So if it feels okay from here, we're just going to take it slightly further by releasing towards your sit bones as if you was going to come into child's pose. And then inhale, coming forward, allowing yourself to dip the spine again as you find that lift on your inhale. So you're going to breathe out, press into the hands, rounding over. If it's okay, bring some weight back towards your heels from here. And you're using your inhale, keeping low first of all. So you bring yourself forward, lifting your tailbone, front of the body and your head. So just carrying on a few more times from here. And it's going to be good as well. We're starting to warm up the wrists a little bit more from here. It's a really nice movement that really starts to get into the back. Just feel it. Just imagine all that space that you're working towards creating in these movements. And we're having full awareness in what we're doing. So we're working in a good, safe way that feels good for us. Next time that you come back to the heels, we can stay there for a bit longer for your child's pose. You can walk your hands forward. You can release the legs a little, knees a little bit wider if you need to. Let your head release and take a few nice focused breaths. And then slowly let your head lift, coming back to your all fours positions from here. We're going to come into our downward dog from here. So we're going to tuck the toes under. You're going to lift the knees away from the floor. You're going to send your sit bones nice and high up towards the sky. And then taking some weight back towards the heels for our downward dog position from here. So if you're feeling slightly tight in the legs, just bend one leg, let the other heel press down. When it feels good, you can hold it for a few extra breaths. Notice your back from here. So if you're feeling any tightness at all in the back, then just simply let your legs bend more and that will create more space into the back. If it does feel okay, we can work towards lengthening the legs more. And then slowly we'll come back down, bending the knees, bringing the knees back to the floor from here. We're going to work into our puppy pose from here. So we're going to pad your knees if you do need to, have that extra padding. Knees going to be underneath the hips and your knees are going to stay, thighs are going to stay upright for this one. So we're going to start to walk the hands forward from here. Thighs stay upright. You can let your bottom stick out. And then we're lowering our chest down. We're lowering down to the floor. We're allowing our heads just to release. And there's a few ways you can work depending on what's happening in your shoulders from here. Let me just move back slightly so you can see me. So you can always reach the arms away from you and let your forearms come away if that feels an option. Or you can bend them more. You can bring them in more if you need to. Or you can always fold your arms from here and let your head release. And then just wherever you are, think about softening around your chest. Allow your chest to soften. Think about that space that you're creating in the back. And then take some weight onto the hands. You're going to start to lift the head slowly, bit by bit. Use the strength in your arms and the hands to ease yourself all the way back to the all fours from here. We're going to make sure that you've got room to reach your leg out from here. And we're going to stretch our right leg away from us. Have a nice stretch into that leg. If it feels okay, we're going to bend that leg from here. There's a couple of ways that we can work this position. We might just feel this is enough by bending that foot and taking that leg, taking that foot up towards the sky. Our next option would be to sweep round with your left hand. And you might just reach that fingertips towards the direction behind you. Or you can relax the foot. If you can take hold of the foot, you can take hold of it. You can press that foot in towards your hands. Try not to twist the hips too much. Just keeping quite neutral. If you've got the foot, release it. Let your hands come back down. If it's still okay, if you've got that leg lifted, you're going to start to bend that leg. You're going to draw that knee through. You're going to round over, bringing your head towards your knee. And then we'll take that knee back down to the floor. Releasing the wrists if you do need to. And then we'll work exactly the same, but to the other side. So your left leg is going to lengthen away from you. And if it's good, then bending that left leg. This might be enough just where we are here. Or the next option would be to sweep the right hand away from you so it reaches back towards that foot. If it was an option, if you did it on the other side, relax that foot, maybe taking hold of that foot. If you've got hold of that foot, you can press it in towards the hands. making sure that we work in a good way that feels good for our back. You'll just breathe in and then releasing that foot if you've got it. We'll take the hands back to the floor. Draw that knee through, so rounding over, bringing your head towards the knee. Just pause there for a few breaths. And then bringing that knee back down to the floor. Going to sink back for a few breaths into your child's pose. Let the back just release from here. And then allowing ourselves to come back to the all fours. We're going to lower down to our tummies, so hands slightly forward of the shoulders, and just lower all the way down so you bring yourself down to your bellies. And we'll do some back bends, so just working with something that feels good for the back. You haven't got to take it any stronger. We'll all do our Sphinx pose first of all, so feet hip distance apart. Arms are coming a little bit wider, maybe as wide as the mat. Hands forwards, maybe in line with your cheeks from here. We're going to look down, take a nice inhale, so we'll lift up with the head and the chest from here. So we might be keeping it very low today and just gazing down, or if it's an option for the back, you can press into your elbows so you start to draw the chest forward more. Any strain in your head at all or your neck, just lower and look down from here. And then slowly lowering all the way back down. So if you're used to staying with Sphinx pose, then just stay and we'll do another round. If it's okay, next option would be to do our cobra. So the hands move underneath the shoulders, pressing down with the feet, engage the legs. You're going to inhale, lifting up either your Sphinx or baby cobra, or maybe even working into a full cobra, making sure we don't lock out the arms. Think about your chest. Feel this really expansion feeling that you're creating in the chest and a nice movement that you're creating in the back. And then slowly allowing yourself to lower all the way back down. Hands are going to come underneath the shoulders. We'll press back to the all fours. And for a moment, just taking a few breaths again into your child's pose. So the next option now we're going to do is a little bit of work into upwards dog. So the upwards dog is going to be stronger. It's a stronger movement out of Sphinx and Cobra. So if we've done this a few times in class, any back issues, anything like that, that we can go back to doing either Cobra or a Sphinx. So a nice option, and again, you'll be familiar with this one if you've come to my classes, would be to do it from child's pose. So we come to child's pose. And the arms are going to extend out from here. So you don't want the knees too far together. You want to take the knees apart for this one. And the arms are reaching out as far as they can. Your hands are going to plant down on the floor. So the aim here is that the hands don't move. The hands are going to be in the correct position when we come to this. So we start to come forward from here. Make sure as well that the toes are going to be pointing back. You're going to start to sink, lower your hips down. This might be enough for you. Remember that you can drop back to your forearms or your knees. Or if it feels okay, you lift your knees away from the floor and you're just up onto the hands and your front of the feet. And then you bring your knees back down. Hands don't move. You sink back again into your child's pose. So we'll do that a couple of times. So coming forward. If it feels good, you start to sink down, lower the hips. If it's okay, you lift the knees away from the floor so you're just up onto your hands and the feet. And then bringing your knees back down, sinking back into your child's pose. Take a few breaths from here. And we'll do one more round. Remember, you can go back to Sphinx or Cobra. If that feels better, just drop back into that. We're going to hold it here for a few extra breaths if it feels okay. So coming forward, if it feels good, lifting your knees. Think about your armpits as well. Maybe just rolling your shoulders back. Feel that you create some space around the armpits so you're not all scrunched up. Good. And then slowly bring your knees back. It's quite strong on the wrists if you've done that one. Take a few moments just to breathe into child's pose now. If you're feeling it in the wrists, take an opportunity just to circle out into the wrists. Head just soft. Just let your breath slow down, so check out, make sure that the breath feels okay. And then when you're ready, slowly allowing yourself to lift the head and to slowly come back to the all fours. We're going to carry on doing a little bit of work onto the knees again, but we're going to come up to standing, just a few hip openers from here. So you're going to tuck the toes under, lifting up into your downward dog. Have a nice stretch back. Remember, think about again, if it feels tight on the back, just explore bending the legs more. You haven't got to straighten the legs if your back is compromised in that downward dog position. Just explore it. Bending the legs slowly, walking your feet towards the hands, or the other way around. Hands on your hips, and we'll lift all the way up from here. Coming all the way to standing. Just pause for a moment, come to your mountain pose. Shoulders nice and relaxed. Just let yourself just feel the feet on the earth. Then we're going to just take a nice stretch up with the arms, so mountain pose with the arms raised, palms facing towards each other. And just take a moment just to feel a really nice stretch from here. So you probably will be aware of your chest and the heart that is just opening a bit more, that you're creating more space. And just see what feels good. Just be aware of your back, so you can continue just to keep it a little bit softer if you need to. Or you can reach up more with the hands to get more lift in your chest. Or the next option would be just to soften your knees slightly and think about lifting your chest even more, so you come into a bit of a back arch, but just be really careful. Don't do it if you've got back issues. And then slowly coming back from here, releasing the arms down. And we're going to take your feet hip distance apart, hands on the hips. We'll inhale, and as we breathe out, we're going to forward fold, so we're softening the knees, hinging forward. Coming forward from here, either keeping hands on the hips or folding the arms, taking hold of opposite elbows. Let your head be nice and heavy. And just take a few moments just to sway from side to side, just so that you start to release any tension, any tightness, especially around that lower back area. Coming back to the centre. Take your hands back to the hips, and we'll lift again, lifting up with the head, lifting up with the chest, coming all the way to standing. We're going to come onto the long side of the mat from here, and then we'll open out your feet, so nice wide distance with the feet for a forward fold. I'm going to add a twist into this one, so if you know that your hand doesn't reach the floor, just grabbing your small block, or if you haven't got a block, you can use a book or something that's going to just be appropriate to what looks like a brick. So we'll take it down to the centre from here. Feet facing forward. I'm just going to shuffle back slightly. That's it. So we're going to soften the knees, going to hinge forwards, going to do our forward fold first of all. And then when you can't go over, either hands stay on the hips, or we release the hands down. It's going to take a twist towards the right side. So your left hand's going to come to the block or on the floor. You can be in the centre of your mat or slightly forward. Will make it a bit more of a softer option. So your right hand's going to go into your lower back, and then we'll start to slowly twist towards that right side. If it feels okay, the arm starts to lift from here, and your palm is facing the same way that your face is turning. Try not to collapse into that, so you're pressing up and out. And releasing down, we'll swap hands from here. So your right hand's going to come down this time. Left hand's going to go on the lower back, and then we'll twist towards that left side. If it felt an option, we can raise the arm again. Make sure that you don't collapse into that bottom hand, so you feel that you're resisting that earth, pushing up and away. Nice release to some of those back bends. And releasing the hand down. I'm going to take the hands on the hips, and then we'll lift up, and we'll come all the way up to standing. You're going to heel toe your feet back together, and then just come back to standing. You can release your block out the way. We're going to make our way down to the floor, and then we're going to add a few more back bends. We're going to have a look at the kneeling sun salutations. So we looked at those quite a few months ago. We've done lots of warm-ups, we've warmed up their arms, we've done all the poses that we'll be using in them. So it'd be a nice sequence just to really get into the back now. So coming to the front of the mat, we'll just come down by lifting the arms up, inhale. And then as you exhale, soften the knees, Uttanasana, forward fold, releasing over the legs. Good. And then bending the legs, coming all the way back down to the all fours. And then sitting back onto your heels from here. So we're working to our kneeling sun salutations. If you need some padding for your knees, you're going to place a blanket or whatever you've got padding underneath the knees. So you're going to come more towards the back end of the mat. So we've got room to come forward and come up into our back bends and downward dog. I'm going to take the hands in towards the chest. If it feels okay, we're going to do a movement where we're going to be lifting up onto the thighs from here. So that's probably often where you might need a little bit of padding. But we start off sitting back onto the heels. Hands in towards the chest. Take your awareness to the breath and where your hands are. Good. So we just take the first movement quite slow. We're going to take an inhale. We're going to start to lift the palms up if it feels good. Lifting up onto the thighs. Take a few extra breaths from here while we reach up. Allowing your chest to expand. And then breathing out, releasing the hands. Coming forward and coming into your child's pose from here. Good. So the hand's going to stay down. You're going to inhale. You're going to start to lift your tailbone, all fours. Lift the front of the body, lifting your head for your arch from here. And then as you breathe out, you're going to tuck the toes under, coming into your downward dog. And you can always swap your downward dog for that puppy pose that we looked at earlier. We're going to inhale. So we've got the option here to sink down with the thighs and press into your upwards dog. This time staying onto the toes. If it doesn't feel good, coming down to the floor for your cobra or your sphinx. And then breathing out, we press into our downwards dog again from here. And then we reverse the movements. So it's that inhale, we're going to come back to your all fours. You can untuck the toes from here. Lifting your tailbone, lift the front of the body, lifting the head. And then breathing out, releasing back into your child's pose. You're going to draw the navel in. You're going to start bringing your hands together. Inhale, lifting all the way up. Breathing out, hands down towards the chest and sinking back towards the heels. So we'll do 2 more rounds. We'll match it up with the breath. Know that you can stop at any point. You can rest in child's pose. You can swap your upwards dog to your cobra or your sphinx, and you can swap downward dog to puppy pose. So lots of options there. Hands towards the chest. So you're going to inhale, lifting up, palms raised. You can look up if it's good. Breathing out into our child's pose. Inhale, all fours, tailbone lifts, the chest starts to lift. Breathing out, tucking toes under into your downwards dog pose. Inhale, you can swing through into your upwards dog or coming down to the floor, cobra or sphinx. Breathing out into your downward dog pose. Inhale, you're coming down to the all fours, untuck the toes, tailbone, front of the body and the head lifts. Breathing out, sinking back into your child's pose. I'm going to take the hands in towards the chest, drawing into the navel, lifting up. Breathing out, hands towards the chest, sinking back towards the heels. We'll do that 1 more time. So a nice inhale to lift up. Breathing out, releasing, coming into that child's pose. Inhale, tailbone lifts, front of the body and the head lifts. Breathing out, tucking the toes, downward dog pose. Inhale, you're going to come into your upwards dog or swapping it for Sphinx or Cobra. Breathing out into your downward dog pose. Inhale back to the all fours, untuck the toes, tailbone lifts, arching the back, looking up. And then breathing out, sinking back into your child's pose. I'm going to draw the navel in, bring the palms together, lifting up. And then breathing out, hands down towards the chest, sinking back towards your heels. Take a moment just to pause from here. Let your hands just rest on your knees. Just let your breath slowly start to slow down again. You might be aware of just this energy that you've created in the body through your back bends. So back bends give us energy. They bring us joy. They create a lot of prana, life force energy into the body. And you might just feel that at the moment. You might feel more alive with your breath and the sensations that the breath brings. Without disturbing the body too much, we're going to slowly start to come down to the floor. So releasing, let your legs swing out to one side. You're going to let yourself sit back to the bottoms, grabbing anything that you need that's going to make your relaxation comfortable. Reaching out with the arms, drawing into the navel, slowly start to release down to the floor. For a moment, you can hug the knees in towards the chest and just allowing your spine to release. And then when you're ready, slowly releasing the legs, you're going to take your feet to the floor. If it's okay, allowing your legs to gently lengthen out from here or keeping your legs bent. And if you've lengthened out the legs, allow your legs just to release and your ankles to release out to the side. And let the arms just be away from the body so that you've got space underneath, around your armpits and the sides of the body. Let your hands be soft. If the hands automatically have gone to the belly, that's fine, just leave them there. And just take a moment just to let everything soften. Nice, long, easy breaths from here. Let your forehead soften, shoulders relaxing. Let your back just spread from here. Just begin to allow the breath to become quite soft, quite natural now. So as we've worked with extra back bends today, it's nice to know that the back bends, they do bring awareness to your chest, the heart centre. One of these areas is your Anahata chakra, so the centre that's around the chest that is associated with love and joy. The emotions of love, harmony and peace we feel in the heart. The chest is the organ for breathing. We are looking towards openness to allow us to breathe mentally and physically. The prana is the life force, that vital energy that renews and gives us our spirit. When we focus on the heart centre, we visualise the colour green for harmony and balance. Just for a moment, take your attention to the heart centre. Feel the rib cage spread and open. Allow the expansion to just fill the lungs, to widen and open. Feel the space this expansion creates. Surrender to those feelings of release and visualise space. In that space, you are breathing in a fine green emerald mist. This swirls into the chest chamber, finding its way into corners, filling the chest centre with a green mist. Just feel it being absorbed, drenching the lungs with this green emerald colour. With that awareness here, just notice how this colour and your awareness to your chest, the heart centre and the energy here, how it brings the body calmness, balance, harmony and peace. So if you feel that you need to rest a little bit longer, just allow yourself to just pause the video and take as much rest now as you like. When you're ready, just let your breath start to gently lengthen and deepen again. Let your fingers wriggle, let your toes wriggle. Let the arms slowly move behind you and have a nice stretch out here right into the fingers. Let your chest open again, feel it open. Feel all that space that you've created, also in the chest through those back bends. And release the arms down by the sides of the body. Just slowly begin to bend your legs. Draw the knees in towards the chest, hugging them in. And gently rock from side to side. When it feels good, just rolling over onto the right side of the body from here. And then slowly finding your way out into your comfortable seated position, one that allows your spine to be lifted. Letting yourself feel connected with the sit bones. Just letting your hands, back of the hands rest on the knees. So your palms are open, the fingers are soft, the fingers are relaxed. Just take a moment to notice what practicing yoga, what it does for you. How you feel maybe physically in the body, but also how you feel mentally and emotionally. Yoga can help to change that. Just let your hands move away from the knees, palms still lifted up towards the sky. And just very slowly, as we inhale, let the hands start to lift so they raise all the way above the head. Bringing the palms together and just pause for a moment. Feel that space again in your chest. Feel that space in the back of the body. And breathing out, let your hands come all the way down in towards the heart centre. And take a soft bow down towards the hands. Keeping the head down, let your eyes slowly blink open. And as you inhale, lift your head, lift your heart. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that feels good on the back. I hope that's given you a little bit more energy and joy for the rest of your day. See you soon.